Hi, so this is a video on how to repair or even recondition a appearing pole or object that you may have. So first of all, you're going to have a pole that you will pull out of a box or top hat or coat or bag, whatever you want, and it should look something like this. All the way out like that. So you should have a nice pole with a good shape to it that you can hold and it will stay up. But what happens if your pole has been stored incorrectly, okay? And what I mean by incorrectly, if it's been stored like this, especially if it's been stored like this for a long time, what happens is the plastic loses its memory. So the plastic does have a memory. It wants to say folded out like this, but if it's been folded incorrectly, that happens, you see. It just has no memory in the actual plastic that will allow it to stay in shape. I mean, if I hold it like this, it'll pretty much hold it as long as I'm holding it exactly right, but the moment I relax, it wants to twist and just go down, and that is all to do with the plastic's memory. So how do we sort it out? Well, don't worry, it's a lot easier than you may think. Let me just put this one out the way and I will show you. So first of all, you want to keep it in the shape you want the memory to be in, and by that I mean open it out, hold it in the shape you want it. So for me, it's going to be like that, okay, and then I'm going to put an elastic band around it periodically to keep that shape as I move down the pole, okay. There we go. Start the other end now as well. So I'm moving these down fairly evenly, and we want to make sure that it is actually folded the right way. So at the moment this comes over like this. I don't want it to be half like that and then half like this, because you'll get that little crossover point there which won't work. So make sure it's folded the same way all the way along. You see here, look, it's on the wrong side, so it's going to put that correct. There we go. So it's now all the way along as it's meant to be. I'm going to put a few more bands around it, and then we'll move on to the next process. Band, doesn't matter. How about that? There we go. So the elastic bands are now holding it in place, and in theory the elastic bands are giving the plastic that memory. So this is how we want it to stay. Now we're going to heat up the plastic. So ideally, if you have it, grab a heat gun. Now a heat gun is used to remove paint from walls. It's just like a hairdryer, okay, but it's a lot hotter than a hairdryer. If you don't have one of these, a hairdryer is fine. Put it on the hottest setting. It will just take slightly longer to do this. Now what I want to do is to evenly heat the entire pole, but you don't want to leave it on too much that it gets too hot. I mean, if I hold this on there for too long, it's just going to completely melt and flop down. So you want it just to be hot enough so that when you touch it with your hand, it's a little bit too hot, but not too hot that it's going to burn you or melt. Okay, so to give an example now with the heat gun, it's going to go up and down nice and slowly, and then it's going to feel it, and I can hold my hand on there quite easily, so a little bit more. Just rotate nice and even all the way down. Okay, that's just a little bit hot now, so you can see already that that has become a little bit more flexible, and you see how you can see it's much more rounded shape, unlike here where it wants to bulge out. Okay, so that's fine for that little area. Now it's going to move down. We're going to do that all the way down the rest of the pole. Just keep rotating as you go. So with a hairdryer, this will probably take you about 3 or 4 times longer just to get that heat, and you're going to have to hold it quite close with the hairdryer. With this, you can hold it a little bit further away. But again there, that you can see, again, all that bulging is now gone. It's now wrapped around nicely. See that? It's a lot different as it was. It was like this, and now it's like that. There we go. So that is now all done. It's become probably about 1 to 2 centimeters smaller, about an inch smaller in the diameter, and it's nicely snug all the way down. You can just see now how round it is. It doesn't want to bulge out. So we're going to let that cool for about 5 minutes now, and then we'll come back and we'll open it up and see how we get on. So it's now been about 5 minutes and the pole is nice and cool. So we're going to take the bands off and see how we get on. So just move that out of the way. And all the way off. And you can see straight away it's holding its shape a lot better already. There we go, and look at that. Hold its shape perfectly, so we're going to roll it up now. Now when you've finished playing around with it, using it at your show or working with it, don't leave it like that, okay? Oh, it wants to open up, see? It wants to open up on its own, and this is a good sign. Okay, so when you're not using it, do keep it in a roll, in a straight position, and you'll find this shouldn't happen again, okay? So, show you how well it go up. Look at that, what a difference to the first time we did it, eh? So there we are. That is what an appearing pole should look like, and that is how to fix your pole or refurbish it should you ever need to do so.